But I have great news. The other day, Scalp Logic reached out to me that they're actually offering the treatment for free. The only thing that stays consistent is the grind. Keep on grinding. Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Very happy to be here and very excited. Got some great news that I can't wait to share with you guys. You guys might remember a few months back, actually I think it was about 4 months back, I shaved my head. I went on camera and I told you guys why I was shaving my head. In case you guys need a recap, you can check out those videos. I'll leave them posted. Before I shaved my head, if you guys are long-term followers of this channel, you guys remember, I used to always be wearing hats. Ever since I shaved my head, I felt completely free. The reason why is because now I didn't have to hide the way my hairline was. When I had longer hair, as I mentioned in those old videos, the widow's peak that I had right here, it would end up looking weird. So I would comb my hair here, have a ton of hair here, but the hairline was going back, right? So now that I shaved my head, my hair was super short back when I shaved it 4 months ago. I felt free. I don't think I've wore a hat on this channel since, and I've just felt amazing. Now, I did grow my hair back a little bit. As you can see, it is grown back a lot more. And the reason why is because my wife does not like my hair short. So I grew it back to this length just to appease her, and I'm very happy with it at this length, to be honest with you. I think it looks good. I don't have to worry about having to comb it, which was a big deal to me because I wanted no maintenance or low maintenance, and this is very low maintenance. And every once in a while, every couple of weeks, I just shave it and keep it shorter on the sides, keep it a little longer on the top. Now, I mentioned in those older videos that I was actually looking into SMP. In case you guys aren't familiar with SMP, again, I recommend you guys watching those older videos just to get a full recap. But in case you guys aren't familiar with SMP, it is a temporary hair tattoo. Now, when I say temporary, what I mean is it's not like a permanent tattoo. Like this, over time it will fade, but it will never go away. SMP, however, it will take a really long time to go away, but it's much lighter. It's an on-the-surface skin treatment, let's put it like that. So it's kind of temporary, kind of not temporary. It's more not temporary, especially if you're not going to take care of your skin after the treatment. Now, I told you guys I was looking into that, but I wasn't really fully committed. I found a couple of different companies that did it over in New York, and then I also found a company in Texas called Scalp Logic, and I started talking to you guys about Scalp Logic back then because I was intrigued by their approach to SMP. They don't do traditional SMP. They do something called Subtle P.
I want you to picture a man that has full head of hair and he decides to shave it down. What does that look like? It looks natural. It looks like it belongs and it fits for him. Now, how do we achieve Subtle P?
Right, and this is the hard part. To get little ink deposits to stay at the superficial level of the skin and actually look like, you know, in comparison to a real shaved hair follicle, same size, same appearance, same everything, and stay there healed. That's what's so darn hard and takes so much labor and attention, multiple sessions and whatnot, but so worth it.
The huge difference is their approach is a very careful, cautious, conservative approach to the procedure. The reason why they go about it this way, and the thing that really spoke to me, was because number one, it's gonna look more natural, and number two, you're not gonna screw up. They're making very on the surface, what they call impressions.
It is, and the thing is, these impressions are never going to change colors. They're never going to deviate and migrate. These impressions are gonna look amazing long-term, which is what Subtle P is.
To give a really realistic, light, natural looking touch. They specialize in making an impression that looks like an actual human hair. And that's what I wanted, because I was seeing from many other providers that their touch was a bit more heavy. And as we all know, especially if you have tattoos, even the lightest touch with ink will end up spreading at some point. The deeper you go, the more it'll spread, the harder the touch, the more it'll spread. And so you need to kind of like have a really conservative touch when it comes to this type of procedure. So them doing that was something that really stood out to me, and I was blown away that they're actually taking the time to give people long-lasting, natural-looking results, as opposed to a lot of other companies that are kind of trying to get you in, get you out as fast as possible with as little sessions as possible, which is great. You know, you want to come in, get it done, and leave. But at the same time, I mean, when you really, especially if you guys are into tattoos and stuff like that, you guys may be aware these things take sessions and sessions and sessions to get right. I mean, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I have so many I could show you. But the artist that I chose specifically, and I'll talk a little bit more about him later, the artist that I chose when I was getting my work done, the ink that I'm talking about, he was very conservative. He took his time. He made it look natural. He used single needles, really thin lines to get a really realistic look. And I loved his approach, and that's why I went with him. The sessions were a lot more sessions than if I went to somebody else, but at the same time, because you're layering those sessions, you're getting a much more natural look. If you're getting something put on you that is going to be permanent, you want it to look natural and as good as possible. So I was very, very impressed by Scalp Logic's approach, because their approach was very natural, very conservative, and I thought would reap the best results over a long period of time. Now again, I haven't wore a hat ever since I cut my hair, on camera or off camera. I'm very, very happy with this look. But I have great news. The other day, Scalp Logic reached out to me, because apparently they must have seen my video and loved it so much that they're actually offering the treatment for me for free. That's right, they said that they loved my video, they want to do the procedure on me, and they're willing to pay for the procedure. Now, the downside about this is that I actually have to travel to Texas. As you guys know, I'm over in Mexico now, right? I was in the United States and actually drove through Texas, but that was a couple of weeks back. So now I am gonna actually have to go back and forth to Mexico, and it's probably gonna take about 2 or 3 sessions in order to do this properly. But am I gonna do it? Am I willing to pay the travel cost? I am, because I truly believe that this company is going to give me the results that I want, the natural looking results. And you're probably thinking, Joe, why are you even gonna bother doing it? You have hair. Again, watch the other video so I can explain it to you. You have hair now, it looks fine, you can get away with not getting it done, and that's true. I don't need to get this done gratefully. I'm not in the position like most people are, but let me show you something. You might be able to see on the top of my hair, my scalp. You see that? Now, while that's normal, it's also very irritating, because even though I have a thick, it may look thick or not, a dark spot of hair on my head, under a lot of different lighting, this hair disappears. If I go under even relatively bright lights, this hair looks almost non-existent, and that really does make me feel self-conscious. I mean, I've gotten over it. It's not a big deal. I deal with the way I look now, and I'm very happy. I'm not complaining. I have hair, unlike a lot of people. So I'm not really complaining, but at the end of the day, I would love if I was able to make it more thick, give the illusion of thickness. So what I'm thinking of is actually getting this procedure, keeping it behind the hairline so that I can keep my regular hair grown out, and actually just thicken it up, make it look thicker. What is your opinions on this? Let me know. I know a lot of guys and girls out there have gotten this procedure done, so let me know in the comments what you think about this. Especially if they're offering this to me for free. I mean, I think this would be an amazing way to document this procedure, show you guys step by step what it's like, so that you guys know exactly what I think about the procedure and what you need to do in the upcoming days, weeks, months, and then even after the procedure is done, what you need to do, what it's gonna look like, and all that stuff. And I think that this procedure is really gonna help me, because like I said, when I walk around a lot of lighting, I feel like my head is naked, and I do kind of feel self-conscious in a way. I'm always kind of wondering, is my scalp showing? Do I look bald under this lighting, or whatever the case is? And I feel like this is really gonna help me when it comes to that. Another plus side is, no one's regrowing their hair, right? Unless, of course, they get a hair transplant. But no one's regrowing their hair. So eventually my hair is, I mean, in theory, right, gonna continue to go back. And honestly, if it continues to go back past this point, I'm gonna know, because I'll see the SMP start to show. And at that point, I know I'm not going to want to keep my hair anymore because in my opinion, it's either like bald or nothing. So at that point, I feel as though if I get this procedure done, it's going to kind of be a reassurance for me in the future. Because again, my hair's not going to be growing back in certain areas. It's only going to go away, get thinner and so forth. So this might be a good backup in order to help me not have to worry about feeling self-conscious if I ever do have to just completely shave my head. Now, I want to talk to you guys about why I haven't gotten it done so far. The reason why I haven't gotten it done so far, and I'm only doing it because Scalp Logic is basically telling me that they're going to give me this gift of a procedure, is because it was a lot of money. Now, if I was completely bald, yes, I would have spent that money. I would have got it done. But because I'm not completely bald, I said to myself, you know what? You don't have to spend the money right now. You can just grow your hair out. Deal with kind of feeling naked sometimes. You know, you have it better than most people. You still have hair. So that's why I haven't gotten it done yet. Because it can be an expensive procedure. Now, Scalp Logic is very reasonable with their pricing, especially considering the fact that they take so much time to do this. Again, I'm used to good tattoo artists who take their time when it comes to work. If you have a tattoo artist who's rushing, they're not going to do a great job. It is painstakingly long in order for Scalp Logic, Joe and Nicole, to be able to do someone's head. It takes so much time and effort. I can't even imagine how their hands feel when they're done. But the reason they're doing this is because they want long-lasting quality results. That's what I feel really sets them apart from a lot of the other companies. And honestly, I feel a little bit bad even accepting this procedure for free because I know how hard they work. But because they're offering it to me out of appreciation for the video and the knowledge that I'm trying to share with you guys, I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, how can I turn this down? I'm super excited. I'm very, very happy. Thank you, Joe and Nicole. I'm very excited to work with you. Now, I get asked a lot of the time, Joe, why don't you just get a hair transplant? If you're worried about your hair and it's only over here, why don't you just get a hair transplant and get it done with? The reason I really don't want to dive into a hair transplant is because there's no guarantees with hair transplants. Now, they've come very, very far, but in either case, they're giving you scars on the back of your head that you can always probably hide with a procedure like SMP. But you're getting scars in the back of your head. They're transplanting that hair. You got to hope that the transplant grows. And then you have to hope that the rest of your hair, your natural hair around the transplant area is not going to start to recede. If it starts to recede, if it starts to become thin over time because of your genetics or lifestyle or whatever, just the way the hand is dealt, if that starts to happen, those hair transplants are basically useless. Can you imagine if I got a hair transplant here and then all of a sudden it started to recede back here? That would be a nightmare. Hair transplants are stupid, stupid expensive. When you look at SMP, it is an extremely reasonable alternative to a hair transplant, which is why I would not ever want to get a hair transplant. Even if I had the money, the pain and recovery and the unknowingness of what's going to happen in the future, that could just be a really painfully expensive and painfully physically type of a mistake. So that's why I really don't want to do that. Another reason is once you get a hair transplant, you're basically stuck. A lot of people don't realize this. You're stuck using hormones for the rest of your life. You actually have to have therapy after hair transplants because if not, the rest of your hair, again, can continue to maybe fall out or whatever the case might be. So you're not only done once you get a hair transplant, you actually have to mess with hormones and chemicals for the rest of your life. So not only are you spending tons of money on a hair transplant, tons of money on a gamble, but you need to use hormones, you have to use chemicals in order to kind of ensure that the hair that you just got transplanted and the remaining hair on your head doesn't continue to get worse. So you're spending tons of money, tons of time, tons of mental energy worrying is this gonna last? And I really don't wanna do that. I just wanna say, I've gotten so much positive feedback from the last video that I did put out talking about this subject with you guys. I just wanna say that I'm very grateful to have been able to help. A lot of people hit me up saying, oh, this is amazing, I can't believe it, what company are you gonna go with, and all this different stuff. Everybody's really hyped about it. And I'm happy to be able to explain what this is, what it's about, and all this stuff, because honestly, you want to feel good in your skin. It feels terrible when you have to be self-conscious all the time, and this is something that I really truly feel like will be able to help with that. The last thing though that you want to do is make a rushed decision. As you can see, I've sat with these thoughts for months, and that's something that I think is very important. Even with my regular tattoo artist, before I got any tattoos, I did tons and tons of research, months and years of research, years before I took the plunge with an artist that I felt comfortable with. My artist's name is Yomiko Moreno. This gentleman you may have heard of recently because just recently he actually did the Rocks tattoo, his brand new tattoo on his arm. Yomiko is an insanely good artist, and he's done pretty much all of my work. He was very expensive, he took tons of sessions, it took a long time, but the man knew what he was doing, and it was worth every penny and every hour and every minute spent. It took me years to find Yomiko, and I am so glad that I did, because I never would ever want anyone to have touched me with the needle other than him. And that's honestly how I feel about Scalp Logic. No disrespect to any other companies out there, but I feel like Scalp Logic and their Subtle P approach is actually the way to go about doing it. If you want to get something done, you want it to be natural and you want it to be sustainable for a very long time. Am I saying that other companies out there cannot give you this result? I am not saying that. What I'm saying is, with the videos that Joe and Nicole have put out, with the approach, with the knowledge that they try to impart on the community, and with the amount of time and the amount of people that they do in a day, so like the amount of time it takes for them to do one person, proves to me that you are getting the best results possible. Again, I know what it's like to have ink, and the last thing that I would want is an artist who is doing multiple people in one day, like 4 people, 3 people in a day. I don't want to just be a number. I want to be someone who you're concentrating on. And even though I do feel bad about them doing it for free, because of all the effort and time that it takes to do a person, I do know at the same time that this is what they do. They're not just doing this for money. They're doing this for the result. They are artists who care about the result. They want it to come out right, and so they're going to be doing it the right way. So I feel really, really comfortable with that. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments if this video helped. Let me know if you guys have ever thought about doing this procedure. If you have got it done, where did you go? What was it like and all that stuff? Give me your thoughts on this whole situation. And shout out to Scalp Logic. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate the love that you showed to me and my video. With me trying to help the community, with me trying to educate. I am so grateful that resonated with you guys, and that you guys are giving me this gift of a procedure. So moving forward, I'm going to be documenting my process all the way up to the date that this procedure is done and after, so you guys can see the entire process from before to after, to get the best idea of whether or not this is right for you and whether or not Scalp Logic is right for you. Because regardless of what happens with my head, I will be posting what is going on to give you guys the best idea of whether or not this is something you want to do and whether or not Scalp Logic is the right company for you. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be safe, talk soon. Catch you all at the next video.